And by bringing that ani to the table, it's going to make it a little bit of a different Seder. It's going to, it might smell a little bit. It might make you feel a little uncomfortable, but guess what? Yariach bo v'yachzor v'yariach bo. You smell him, you grab him again, and you smell him one more time. Starting Sefer Vayikra and learning about the korbanos while we're also getting ready for Pesach. Besides for just the korbanos, there's not so much overlap, but there's a wonderful insight from Rabbi Yerucham, an incredible, incredible insight that we need to think about, we need to ponder, we need to try and apply to our own lives. The pasuk says in the first parak here in Vayikra, when it's speaking about the ola of the oath, that you have a bird, that someone comes and brings a bird, and that's going to be the sacrifice. You put it on the altar, you put it on the mizbeach, and it burns up completely. So the pasuk says, "V'shisa oso bichnafav lo yavdil," that the way that they would do the korban was they would take the bird and they would kind of like break it in half a little bit, and they would put it on the altar. V'shisa oso bichnafav lo yavdil. So you have the bichnafav. What does that mean, bichnafav? So Rashi says a very, very strange comment. Bichnafav notza mamish, that you burn it with its feathers. Okay, so let's get the picture straight. You have a person coming, and they go and they bring, some guy's bringing a big, ox, a big bull. This guy brings a tiny little bird, and Rashi's telling us that what does it mean, bichnafav? It means notza mamish. You burn it with the feathers on top of it. Asks Rashi a simple question. V'halo ein lecha hedyot shemeriach ra shel knafayim nisrafim. Is there any worse smell in the world than burning hair? Burning feathers. You take a feather, everyone's going to do, bir chametz, and so everyone throws the feather in the spoon, whatever, and they put it into the bag, and you can smell it. When the feather is burning, it's like mamish, the most disgusting smell of all. Ve'ein nafsho katza alav, v'lama amar akasu v'hiktir. So you have a Torah, we want everything to be pleasant, especially in the Holy of Holies, in the Beis HaMikdash. You want everything to smell nice, to be nice, that we have all of these midrashim, all of these divrei chazal, that talk about all the miracles that happened. There weren't flies around, there was good smell. And then all of a sudden, you have this bird offering, and you throw it on the mizbeach with its feathers, and it's mamish going to stink up the place. Why is that the case? Says Rashi, Kedei sheyehei hamizbeach saveya umehuder b'korbano shel ani. So that the mizbeach is full, that the mizbeach it looks geschmack when it comes to an ani's korban. Says Rabbi Yerucham, Hamikra l'lamdeinu ba miteva ha'adam. When it comes to our natural sense, we like to hang around clean people. We like to hang around nice people who, have a good clothing on, they have a good perfume, they've taken more than one shower a week, whatever it may be. Asher bigdeihem nechmadim limareh, v'sovim nefesh kol mereichehem, v'lo kein yachush be'ez pagsho la'ani, ubigadav keruim ubluim. That when you see an ani, and you see a poor person on the street, and sometimes you're walking and you go, whoo, that was a smell, that was a stench. And you see them and they're in a dirty clothes, dirty smell. It's hard for us to even stand by them, let alone speak to them, invite them into our house. Just to walk by them sometimes is hard. It's hard for us to stand near dirty people, let alone to smell them. So what do? We distance ourselves. What do we do? Says Rabbi Yerucham, we hold our nose. We hold our nose and we try to walk by with the least damage possible. Says Rabbi Yerucham, but the ways of Hashem with which we are obligated to go in, hine behefech. A love dafka lihiskarev samuch lo. You have to go straight to him. You have to grab him, says Rabbi Yerucham. His dirty, smelly jacket, you grab in your hands. You should smell him. You should get a geschmack out of his dirty smell. Don't ever say to a poor person, you're such a nice guy, but take a shower. You ever heard of shampoo? Says Rabbi Yerucham, a crazy line. He says, Ella, what should you do with this ani? Yariach bo, you should smell him. V'yachzor v'yariach bo. And you should do it again. You should grab him, smell him. You should say, Hineni muchan mezumen l'kayim mitzvahs essay. Grab him and sniff. Says Rabbi Yerucham, think about what happens. This is Rashi. Think about what happens in the Beis HaMikdash. You have a whole line of people coming with their korbanos. You have, big machers. They come with their big ox. They come with their sheep. They come with their goat. And everyone's saying, oh, where'd you get your goat? You shop at Ralph and Asher's. That's where you get your goat. And, where do you get your ox? You go to this butcher and you get a big old nice cow. And you bring it to the Beis HaMikdash. And the ani, he wants to bring a korban. He also wants to participate in Avodas Hashem. Elamai, he doesn't have much. He doesn't have the means. He can't get a cow. He can't get an ox. He can't get a sheep. He can't get any of these things. So what does he do? He can get a little tiny bird. So now he already feels like a nebuch. He already feels less than everyone else. Everyone's standing in line with their geschmack of korbanos. He's got like a little bird he could fit in his pocket. So now what are you going to start doing? Not only are you going to take his nebuch little korban and put it on the mizbeach, what are you going to do? You're going to start plucking off the feathers. You're going to make his small, tiny korban even smaller. You ever seen a picture of birds without their feathers? They're mamish tiny. If you think a bird is small, see a bird that doesn't have feathers. It's a tiny little thing. So now you're going to take his korban that's already making him feel like a nebuch. And so what are you going to do? You're going to make it more nebuch. You're going to start picking out all the feathers because you don't want to smell it. You're going to make him feel like a nebuch because you don't want to smell. You don't want the discomfort. You don't want the Says Rabbi Yerucham, the Ribono Shalom, he welcomes that smell. He asks for the smell. He says, if me smelling this, if me smelling the worst possible smell is going to make a Jew feel any less of a nebuch, it's not only that I'm going to tolerate the smell, I'm going to beg for the smell. I want the smell. I want to feel uncomfortable in my own right so that he feels less uncomfortable. So many of us will be getting ready for our Siddharim in the next 2 weeks, and we'll be focusing on all of the preparation and all of the, they made a new word like tablescape, the landscape. You have to make the whole table nice. People do a blue thing down the middle, a Kriyas Yamsuf, a little Lego figure. You've seen these things. So everyone's so caught up on making their Seder so geschmack that their table should look very, very nice. But you know how we start off the Seder? With words that we don't mean. Kol dichsvin yesev yechol. Kol dichsvin yesev yechol. Anyone out on the street. Really? Anyone? Even that smelly guy on the corner? Even him? Not him. We should change that. Not kol dichsvin. Anyone who showers and wears nice clothes and has a good cologne on, please come and eat. Anything that's not going to take away from my geschmack yontif, please come and join me. That's not what we say. We say, kol dichsvin yesev yechol. Kol ditzrich. Anyone who needs. When we come to our Seder, our goal is we should never, ever, ever prevent ourselves from being uncomfortable by making another person feel more nebuch. We learn that from Rabbi Yerucham. We learn that from Rashi. We learn that from the commandment of the Ribono Shalom. It's gonna smell, yes. You're gonna feel uncomfortable, yes. It's not going to be enjoyable, yes. But guess what? By you putting up with it, you putting up with the smell, he's going to feel less of a nebuch. So yes, you've planned your wonderful Seder and you have all the wonderful gewaldic vorts you want to share and your family and the nice dynamic and everyone's sitting in different places. And by bringing that ani to the table, it's going to make it a little bit of a different Seder. It's going to, it might smell a little bit. It might make you feel a little uncomfortable, but guess what? Yariach bo v'yachzor v'yariach bo. You smell him, you grab him again, and you smell him one more time. That's what the Torah is telling us. That's how we're supposed to appreciate this holiday. That's how we're supposed to come and interact with the other people in our lives. Says Rabbi Akiva Eger, there's a wonderful story. The Rabbi Akiva Eger was once had the Nesivos HaMishpat, Rabbi Yaakov Milisa, one of the two greatest Gaonim of their time, Rabbi Akiva Eger and the Nesivos HaMishpat. Both on the page in Shulchan Aruch. We're talking about big people over here. So Rabbi Akiva Eger was once hosting the Nesivos HaMishpat in his house. And they were in the middle of, very intense, philosophical conversation, whatever it may have been. And there was a knock at the door. And all of a sudden, Moshe, one of the local beggars, came in. And he was going from house to house. So Rabbi Akiva Eger opened the door. And it was a mamish cold night. It was freezing cold. And so what did Rabbi Akiva Eger do? He invited Moshe, he invited the beggar in. Sit down, said Rabbi Akiva Eger. And he sat in Rabbi Akiva Eger's chair. Now what did Rabbi Akiva Eger do? He got down, this is Rabbi Akiva Eger, the Rabban Shel Kol Bnei Agoyla. He got down on the floor and he started to rub Moshe's feet. He started to rub Moshe's feet, try and get some circulation back in the beggar's foot. Rabbi Akiva Eger. Now listen to what happened next. While doing so, Rabbi Akiva Eger turned his head back and said these incredible words to the Nesivos HaMishpat. He looked at the other Gadol b'Yisrael, and what did he say? He was from Lisa. So he said, "The Lisa Raz mechubed mit tzveter fus." The Rav of Lisa is honored with the kibud of rubbing the next foot. You get the kavod. I don't want to take it all for myself. You, the Lisa Rav, you should be mechubed with rubbing Moshe's foot. The dirty beggar from the street. You should rub his foot. That's what the Rabbi Akiva Eger, and he wasn't joking. It wasn't a good line. Mechubed with the right foot. The Lisa Rav. He wasn't joking. It's a kavod. That's how we treat aniyim. When you go by and you say, and you put your shekel in, it's not how it's supposed to be. You find someone, give him a hug. It's going to smell. It is. And it might get on your clothes. And it might be by inviting them over for Shabbos, it might be a tircha on the family. It might be something that's, not going to be a wonderful, memorable, whatever. But guess what? Says the Rebbeinu Shalom, V'shisa oso bichnafov. I'm willing to put up with the worst stench in the world, in my home, in my Beis HaMikdash, just to make the ani feel any less of a nebuch. I want you to do the same. I want you to yariach bo, v'yachzer v'yariach bo. It'll be uncomfortable, but we go through great discomfort. We go through great discomfort in order to make any Jew, any person, feel any less of a nebuch. We should think about that when we're preparing for our Seder, not just what we're going to cook and not just who we're going to invite and not just, the seating arrangements, whatever it may be. But we have to ask ourselves, because of our Seder, will anyone else in Eretz Yisrael, will anyone else in Am Yisrael feel less of a nebuch? When we say, Kol dichsvin yesei v'yechal, are we ready for anyone who comes to the door? Are we ready to invite Am Yisrael? We're ready to embrace Klal Yisrael for whatever they may be, whatever smells they may carry, in order to Be'ez Hashem have the end of Halach Manya. Hashta hacha l'shana haba b'Yushalayim.